Hi, this is Matt Aldridge, and this is my practice presentation for my VaxID mobile application. So the VaxID is an iOS-based mobile application that's designed to keep track of vaccinations and immunizations for adults and children. Over here on this side, here's a wireframe picture of the mobile application that I've done so far. So VaxID is a mobile application to track vaccination and immunizations. Currently, there's no product like it on the market. The app is used to show proof of immunizations for children, but can also be used to show COVID-19 vaccination status. It's free to download, so will not be a financial burden for users. So that's the biggest plus, is that it's going to be free to users to download in the App Store. Vaccination is important for many reasons. In the United States, vaccines greatly reduce or eliminate many infectious diseases that once routinely killed or harmed infants, children, and adults. But viruses and bacteria that cause diseases still exist, and you can still contract and spread the disease even if you're vaccinated. Electronic health applications and tools are increasingly available and have the potential to facilitate caregiving outside the traditional healthcare settings, especially in the context of rising use of smartphones and mobile technology. So there's a larger need currently for having your health records at your fingertips because everybody wants everything now in today's society. The project is a mobile app that will be used to track vaccinations, including type, date, and admission healthcare provider. This helps the vaccination helps healthcare vaccination records available to anyone anytime with a smartphone, even in rural areas where internet access might be scarce. The application is also linked to a website that includes supplemental information. So the product summary, the scope is the VaxID project is a creation of user-friendly iOS mobile-based application. The application automates the process of recording and keeping vaccinations and immunizations made by users and patients. So basically, a user will download the app, and then if they have a child that needs vaccination to enter school, or they want to track their own vaccinations for COVID-19 or what have you, they would download the app. Then they can put this information in the app, and then they'll have access to it any time, day or night, without the need to call the doctor's office or need the doctor's office to even be open. The purpose is to create a functional iOS application to help users track their immunizations and vaccinations throughout their lives and with their children's lives. So this is important because those of you who have children know that a lot of times your employer may change insurance companies, or your doctor may leave the practice and go somewhere else, may leave the state, or a situation like that where you have to change doctors for your children or yourself. Um, as your children get older, in various years of schooling, they need to have different vaccinations to be administered to be allowed to go to school. So this will help track that, because as you get these vaccinations, you would enter it into the application. Then you would have no need to go back and call the doctor's office or call around different doctor's offices to see which child went to which doctor, which immunizations they got, and so on. So this will help track that. The iOS application is to provide users with digital proof of vaccinations for themselves or children, as I already stated. And this solves the problem by putting all that information into a portable app that will allow parents or adults to show proof of immunizations or vaccination status, such as COVID-19, to go to concerts, to be employed, to do things like that. This is a perfect solution because it gives users a digital portable option to their electronic health records that they enter the information themselves. So when you have the user or the patient entering their own information into the app, there's less likely to be an error. because you know the exact information, the date, the time, the name. There's no risk of getting the wrong information about the patient because the patient actually enters the information themselves. The market segment are the users will be parents of school-aged children who want to track the vaccination of their children, or anyone who wants a digital record of COVID-19 vaccination status. The primary market would be people that want to have a portable option for their healthcare records. Right now, there really isn't a very good option for that, so this will give people a portable option, which could also lead to expanding to different healthcare records as time goes on. Secondary market could be a healthcare provider that could use it to promote vaccination or immunizations, especially for pediatric providers. As I stated before, most of your pediatric doctors, move around a lot. Actually, all the doctors do. It seems like every time you find a doctor that you like, that you're comfortable with, and that knows you and knows your ailments and such, and knows your children, they move or you change the insurance companies or what have you. So this would help pediatric providers by promoting this as a way to control their health records. So an example of a user would be Alexa is 40, and she's a married mother of two children, ages 12 and 17, and she needs the health records for her children to prove they have required immunizations to enter middle school for a 12-year-old and college for a 17-year-old. And with the VaxID app, she would have these records at her fingertips to provide to the schools to prove that her children are immunized against TB and things like that. So here's the benefit and financial analysis. The initial investment depends on basically who's creating the application. If it's done in-house, project price is around $1,000, or it could be upwards of $100,000 to have it done outside by an outside vendor. Or if you could come up with an open source software, obviously that would be cost would be zero. Total, so for maintenance and updates and stuff would be $10,000 in-house, and probably the same for if you had it done outside the provider, and be zero for open source software. So the cumulative benefits will be around $500,000. That's across the board. That's going to be the same no matter who produces the software or who maintains it. And then your cumulative benefits will be the same, $250,000. And then your return on investment, the first year will be 331%, the second year 268%, and the third year 180%. And the reason for this is because each year that the application exists, you run the risk of people losing interest in the app, or perhaps another company creating a similar application to yours and then stealing your users, or even perhaps creating a better application. Here are the wireframes of the application that I've done so far. Here's the main page. There's the doctor's contact info, patient information. And here's the application website screenshot. That's the home page. And that tells you a little bit about VaxID and what it's about. Here's another screenshot. Okay, now for the project demonstration. Okay, so here is the mobile app. Here's where you would enter your patient information, patient name. Here's the website that's linked in the app. This is the whole website here that you can access from the mobile application. Here's your doctor's contact info. This is the information you would put in about your doctor to make contact easier. There's Skype, there's an address, the website, name, etc. Scheduling. This is where you would schedule your appointments. Some of this stuff is not available in test mode. Here is your vaccine card. So you would just upload a picture of your vaccine card, and then you would have proof of your vaccination status whenever you need it. So for final comments, VaxID is designed to give users control over their electronic health records. It gives users 24-hour access to their vaccination immunization records, and it's also a useful tool to find additional information on COVID-19 testing sites, vaccination sites, scheduling, and the website is also a useful tool for additional information from the U.S. government, CDC, and local officials regarding COVID-19 information. Thank you.